Hi, this is Natalie Rydstrom from SVR Picks. Now, the transfer window slowly closed on Monday with very few blockbuster signings across Europe. We're going to take a look at three of the biggest to see if they'll be hit or miss. And joining us to help us do that is Lee Phelps from William Hill. Lee, thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
Now, the first is the first transfer that everyone's talking about. He commanded the highest fee, totaling 33 million euros, and he's joined Chelsea. Will Juan Cuadrado be hit or miss?
I think he'll be a hit eventually. He's a very good player, obviously. Anyone who watched the World Cup will have seen him, and his assist record was great in the World Cup. He was the man who headed it down to James Rodriguez to score that fantastic goal that won him the FIFA Puskas Award. And, his assist record is very good. His assist record is as good as his goal record. I would say that his goal record's not amazing, but then he's probably not bought for that. He's a winger. He sets goals up. So 27 goals and 23 assists in 165 club games. That's according to his performance records on transfermarkt.com, which is a pretty good website for stats on individual players. What the interesting thing I found, the one reason why he may be a miss early on in his Chelsea career, is his disciplinary record, Natalie. In those 165 games, he's received 45 yellow cards. That equates to one yellow card every 3.5 games. In the last 4 seasons, he's had 5 yellow cards this season, but he's only played half a season. 13, 12, and 8. It's a lot of yellow cards. Bearing in mind you get 6 and you get a ban, in the Premier League. So that 13 and 12. That's 2 bans in 1 season. Plus you get a worse ban. So it could be that the referees are more likely to hand yellow cards out in those kind of games, which is fair enough. In the divisions that he's been playing in, maybe they'll be a bit more lenient in the Premier League. But I think that could be a bit of a shock to the system for him if he's getting, committing too many fouls early on in his career at Chelsea. If he starts against Aston Villa this weekend, then Juan Cuadrado to be booked in the game is 3.5, 5-2. Interesting little bet that, I think.
Yeah, certainly is. Now, next is Ivory Coast striker Wilfried Bony. He cost a cool 32 million euros, transferring from South Wales to Manchester City. He did well for the Swans, but will he be able to shine amongst all the talent on the Man City's bench?
Good question. And I'm going to be really intrigued to find out the answer to that. I mean, today, as we record this, Stefan Jovetic has been removed from the Champions League squad and Wilfried Bony's taken his place. So that shows Manuel Pellegrini's intent with Bony. Obviously wants him to be a key part of the squad in the Champions League and in the Premier League. I just don't know if they're going to change the system for him. You look at the last 10 Premier League games, they've played 1 man up front. Maybe that's through necessity because Aguero's been injured quite a lot, but even since he's come back, he's only been the sole man leading the line. Will he change it to have 2 men up front to accommodate Bony? It's going to be interesting to find out what Pellegrini does. Obviously, if he doesn't do that, then he's going to be a miss because he's going to be sat on the bench. And he's got a lot of money to spend on a support striker, isn't it, it seems? Obviously, City can do that, but, there is financial fair play coming in, and the reason he had to put him in instead of Jovetic in the Champions League squad is because they've been punished by, the fair play rules. They're limited into how many players they can have in that squad. So, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I've got a little hunch that the rest of the season he will be a miss because, not for any fault of his own, but I don't think he'll get the opportunities. I hope he does because I'm a massive fan of Wilfried Bony. I backed him in the World Cup to be the Ivory Coast leading scorer and made some money out of that. Just away from Man City for a second, he's still in action at the Africa Cup of Nations. Côte d'Ivoire have got through to the final. That takes place on Sunday, the 8th of February. Now, he's 1 goal behind the leading striker, and he's in the final. And they're probably going to be favourites to win the final. He's 8-1 to be top scorer, 9.0 to be top scorer. He's 1 behind. He's got 2 goals. The leading scorer's got 3. I mean, instead of backing him to score a goal in the final, he won't be 8-1 to score in the final. You could have been onto a really nice bet there. I mean, it's kind of off at a tangent a little bit from his Manchester City role, but I think that's worth a look. I really do. At 9.0 to be the Africa Cup of Nations top goal scorer.
9.0, yep, I like those odds. Next, we've got third biggest signing in the transfer window, and that was Andre Schurrle. He was bought from Chelsea and sold this week to Wolfsburg for 32 million euros. Wolfsburg recently beat Bayern Munich, their second spot. Will he be hit or miss for an already great club?
Yeah, I think it will be a hit. I think he's been a bit of a miss at Chelsea. It's been a little bit unfair on him, really, because, he's not had the opportunities, you would say. I think, you look at his record this season, he's only played the full 90 minutes on 3 occasions, 30 appearances last season. I mean, you can't really get a flow for, the game and at a club, I don't think. So I think he was obviously pretty happy to go back to Germany. The reason Chelsea bought him was, that his last season in Germany, he had a great season, scored goals, made assists. And his assist and goals record hasn't been amazing at Chelsea. Mourinho's happy to let players go if he doesn't quite think they fit in. So I was a little surprised to see him go. I'm a really big fan of his style. I personally thought he might be another Arjen Robben for Chelsea. I thought he had that kind of that pace and that direct play, that bombing down the wing. Hasn't worked out, so he's gone, and they've made money on him, Chelsea, as they often do. I think he'll be a great addition to Wolfsburg, though. And I think, as you mentioned, that great win against Bayern Munich, they're not going to catch Bayern Munich, but I think with the likes of, signing the likes of Schurrle, they'll have a really good go at it, because they're a really good attacking team, a team that I'm quite fond of. I was looking for a bet around him. There isn't much going on. I was looking, hopefully, maybe trying to find, how many goals will he score for Wolfsburg in the remainder of the season. Not much around. But I did find the fact that you can back Wolfsburg to win the Bundesliga in the market without Bayern Munich, so effectively to finish second. And the 1.55, which some people might go in a bit short, but they're doing very well. They've got a nice cushion ahead of Bayer Leverkusen, and I think with the addition of players like Schurrle, they will go well for the rest of the season. Obviously, very confident after beating Bayern Munich 4-1. So I think that's one of those bets. It's short, but I think it's short for a reason. I think it could be shorter, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Lee Phelps, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.